What is it like to own and run a living embodiment of Big Night?
That was an inspiration for this restaurant. My ex-wife Marcia and I, we always loved that movie.
I mean, Primo and Segundo, it's in the whole thing.
One of our early reviews said this was a place that, the Sopranos would hang out at. The second year we were open, we opened in 2000. And we recreated the entire meal from the Big Night for a New Year's Eve, complete with the timpano of pasta.
Yeah.
And we paraded a whole roasted pig through the dining room, and people were out of their seats cheering. And,
absolutely.
But that definitely was an inspiration for this. I was living in Milwaukee, and I saw that movie at the Oriental Theater, and then went home.
We could have been in the theater the same night, because that's where I saw it.
And the next morning, I got up and just made spaghetti and meatballs and drank Chianti in my underwear with an apron on.
Do you think it was formative, though, working in the brigade systems in Switzerland and having that experience, to like we're often as young chefs or creative people, we're reacting to what we just experienced, or we're reacting to what the world said we should do. So you came from that completely codified, this is the way it happens, to this free-for-all Italian, completely organic and in every sense of the word, full of love kind of food.
Yeah, that's what I prefer.
Yeah.
I prefer the moment of inspiration, not to recreate it over and over, although that's something that's necessary in this business. So, and when we first started here, I can buy a cook to come and work here because it had such a poor reputation, but we built that up and I did everything myself and worked myself to death. But then we hired a chef that had trained with the French, and the two of us, and a lot of inspiration from him. I learn as much from my cooks as they'll learn from me. We put in the brigade here, and now you come in, you have your station, you have your prep list, you have your duties that you're responsible for, and that has made things easier. But I still have customers that come in and they want a beef tartare that's not on the menu, and when I make that, I'm grinding it to order, and I don't know what I'm going to put on the plate because I love that moment of electricity of I don't know what it's going to be, and they love it. At the last second, let's coat that egg yolk in some seasoned flour and deep fry it just so it still bursts on the plate. Something simple, but they love it. That runs into the problem of the restaurant's full. People sitting next to them want that now. There's something really organic and healthy about feeding people. There's an instant gratification when you see them. The cautionary side of that is you still have to feed yourself, or you fall into these pitfalls of alcohol, drugs, temptation that is inherent in this business.
It's party for everybody, but it's also hard to sometimes not get caught up into it. Yeah. And you're working when everyone is having fun.
Oh yeah, that's a big part of it. And that's part of I think there's currently a lot of glamour around the restaurant and the chef, but that cautionary side of it, I don't see that story being told a lot. But I went through a divorce, seeming super successful. We're opening the Old Fashioned is just booming with business. Lombardino's is going great. We're remodeling the house, we're having kids and buying new cars, but then you come home at the end of it and you're kind of empty. You spend all your time filling up other people. Right. So over the last few years, I've kind of stepped back from being more public and just focusing on what we're doing here in our little corner. Whereas I think downtown Madison, there's a lot more interplay between the chefs. Here I'm kind of isolated on this corner where I've always been. And I moved here from Milwaukee and opened this restaurant. So I've forged deep relationships with people in this community. So for me, it's been nice, but it's funny that you called because I'm right at this time trying to see what the next chapter is. Where we go from here. But right within a system of what our menu is there more I could do on a plate? Is there more that I feel like I could give to people? Sure. And maybe someday the 2 apartments upstairs become that 15-seat restaurant. But for now, they're not. They're offices. And that's a dream of mine, maybe to have a more creative outlet upstairs, but still work in this. I like to work in a box so people understand what they're getting when they walk in. I think when you walk in here, you know what you're going to get.
No question.
So as a custodian of it, I want it to continue. And I feel that that's important.
Party fillets. 1 is rare.
Some filet, 1 rare.
1 chicken. Party style. 7 party salmon. 2 mushroom risotto entrees. CDR, please.
Heard that.